Hi, my name is William Myers from Manus Outdoors. Today we're going to be doing a short video about natural fire tenders. Please excuse the noises in the background. Due to recent storms in the area, some people's power has been knocked out, so they're using generators. There are a couple trees down in the area. Some chainsaws have been fired up from time to time, so you might hear those as well. But today we're going to be doing a video about Fatwood. And what Fatwood is this was from the eastern white pine. And what it is you can see, if you get a close-up on that white pine, well, this is white pine. Fatwood is a wood that when the tree, if it's been blown down or if it's been cut down, what have you, the roots are still pumping that resin through the tree. And it doesn't have anywhere to go, so it just sits there and gets soaked into the wood. Actually, some of the better Fatwood resources are below the ground, where the root system kind of comes into. But what that is, that resin from the pine is very, very flammable, and that would be, I wouldn't actually consider it an accelerant. I would more consider that a fuel, because it doesn't really take a spark very well, but it does take a flame awesomely. So it's kind of where it lies, somewhere in between the two. What Fatwood is, obviously it's a natural resource, so this continues on the video that I did in the past about like birch bark and things like that. Things that you can save the tinders and things like that you carry with you, and you can harvest these natural tinders. That just makes the things that you brought with you in your pack go that much further. So we're going to show you how to get a fire with Fatwood. Don't go away. So this stuff has a lot of nicknames, you know, touch wood, lighter wood, things like that, and I'll show you the reason why it's called that really quick. But the reason why that it's called that is because this stuff takes a flame really, really well. You know, and just a way to save your resource of your lighter is being able just to light this stuff really quick, and then, you know, you don't have to sit there and waste your Bic fluid. You know, that Fatwood's going to go and go and go. And what's going on is that the resin in that Fatwood is liquidating, and that's what's burning right now. And that as a fuel is just amazing. But we're going to show you how to even light this stuff with a ferro rod, so you can even save your lighter. So don't go away. Alright, so we just got the Leatherman Wave out here, and what we're going to do is we're going to open up our saw, and we're going to use the back of our saw to scrape down on this Fatwood, and we're going to make some dust. Hey. We don't have to go really hard or anything like that. Just kind of, we're just making some real light dust. Or these curls right here are really, really what's going to catch those sparks. We're opening up that surface area to these exposing little tiny hairs and things that are able to take a spark really well. So we're going to continue getting some more of these curls and get some real light dust going on, and we'll get right back to you. Alright guys, we've got a lot of curls and little dust here. We've also made some tiny sticks and bigger curls and stuff like that just for tinder. And we'll explain why we did this in a little bit, but basically the way to do that is just kind of take your knife and get down in here and get bigger pieces and bigger curls to come off. So we'll add those to the pile. And one of the reasons why we do this, or I do this, but I know several other people that do that, is if our tinder or our wood is wet, if we're in really damp conditions and we need just that extra oomph to get our fire going, we'll actually make curls and little tiny Fatwood sticks. But if we have a really dry day, really dry tinder, things are going optimal conditions, I would say, just maybe even half of that little pile right there would be more than ample to get things going. So let's go ahead and show how this stuff takes a spark. Get my ferro rod out here.
And I don't use any strikers. I just use either the back of my saw blades or the back of my knives and stuff like that. I really don't need to carry around a striker. Stuff can be a little stubborn at first, but it'll go. There we go. You know, and we can add some of these little curls to keep it going. But yeah, those resins in the Fatwood, once they start liquefying, that's an actual fuel itself, and we're gonna show that actual the resin itself acting as a fuel itself here in a little bit. Show you what that resin in itself does. Actually, this whole pile will probably catch here in about 20 seconds. But you can see, you know, if we're in conditions that aren't exactly the greatest, how this stuff could help you get your fire rolling. And this is something that I found out in the woods. This isn't something that I bought. Now those wet fires or the mini infernos or the million other things that you can buy in the store can sit in my pack and I can consume those. But I just really wanted to show you guys how long this stuff burns for, you know, and show you what a great resource Fatwood is, because it's one of my favorite natural means of getting my fires going. Alright, so one thing I always keep in my pack for a multitude of uses is pine resin. And this stuff is great for, I mean, this stuff has so many uses. I can make glue out of this, pine pitch, a little bit of coal and charcoal from the fire and things like that. Go lay down right here. Got my dog out here trying to be nosy. But one really good use for this stuff is it takes a flame and it'll act like a fuel actually when this stuff starts to liquefy. So you can see how just a small how a small pile of this stuff could help you get a fire going pretty well. Once this stuff gets lit and gets rolling, man, there is no putting it out. It's just be a little cumbersome to get it going. It's going now. So once this stuff really gets going, like I said, there's almost no putting it out. This stuff's going to run everywhere. So if you are using this, you might want to put it in maybe like an oyster shell or something. So you can see this stuff's starting to run. So I mean, you got to be careful when you're using this stuff. It's pretty much natural napalm. So sometimes I'll use maybe like a clamshell that I find or something like that. Put it in there, put it underneath my fire. I'm gonna go ahead and blow that stuff out. But as you can see, this stuff can be a really great resource, and this is basically what is in the Fatwood that we just showed, and that's the reason why that stuff is so volatile to flame, and it can catch a spark if used in the right way. This stuff really doesn't take to a spark too well. You kind of really have to use open flame, but you know, it doesn't take much to get this stuff going, saving my lighter for when I really need it, and then I can just use this to get my fire going. Okay guys, so that pine resin that we just showed, you can harvest that off of the pine tree from parts of the tree that gets injured, if a limb's been cut or some kind of injury within the tree itself. It'll seep out that pine resin and almost act like a bandage for the tree itself. Alright guys, this is William Myers from Manus Outdoors. This is just a video to show you guys that there are some things out there in the woods that we can collect and harvest. That way, the tinders and things like that we bring with us, the accelerants and the fuels, the cotton balls with Vaseline on them, the mini infernos, the wet fires, what have you, that we bring with us, we can save those and we can conserve those, and we can actually pull and harvest tinders from nature to use to get our fires going, and for other reasons as well. The pine resin that you've seen in this video, I encourage you guys to look that up. There are probably 1,000 uses for that stuff, and maybe we'll do a video about that in the future. From now, this is William Myers from Manus Outdoors. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for all the comments and your support. We'll see you out in the woods. I'm just going to sit there and eat that donut while you're filming. Alright.
Fuck you, whore.
Ah, there's the cussing in the videos that I wanted.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Love you.
Alright guys, well I'm William Myers. This was a short video. You're shaking. Alright, stop.